So, My Hero Academia Manga Chapter 120 has officially released, and let me just say, there was a big surprise at the end of this chapter, and it's gonna shock you. Not really, but it's a cool surprise nonetheless, and we'll talk more about it right after this. Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Drew, and I'm here to do my manga review of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Manga Chapter 120. And when it comes to this chapter of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, it's pretty much what we've been getting for the past, I don't know, few dozen chapters, where we get to see a lot of cool action, a lot of somewhat touching emotional beats, and a really huge surprise at the end of this chapter. So basically, the Vigilantes formula. And we'll get more into the review right now, because when it comes to this chapter, it starts off how we pretty much saw the entirety of last chapter, where we see that Koichi is quote unquote playing with number 6, and how when it comes to their playing as little kids, it's a representation of what's actually going on in the real world. As you have Koichi that is sticking to a wall, you have number 6 flying in, when in actuality he is punching at Koichi and is sending him flying, where we get the title of this chapter, Rootin' For Ya. And yeah, when it comes to the title of the chapter, that's kind of what this chapter is all about, where we see characters supporting Koichi in this fight. And before we get to the characters that are going to be supporting Koichi, we have to talk about All For One. Cause yeah, All For One is once again in this chapter, and he's gloating and how he's talking about how, wow, number 6 is getting into it as well when it comes to this fight. Wow, they're acting very weirdly. I wonder what's motivating them. I wonder why they keep doing this. I wonder why. So basically you have All For One who is trying to understand why they are still fighting in this moment, as you just have someone coming in pretty much telling him to, oh, just shut up. You would never understand someone as greedy as you. And we get to see a glimpse of who that is, and as you have this person saying this, you have All For One just turning around like, whoa, what was that? What was that? And most likely what this is number 6's o'clock vestige, or overclock's vestige of Knuckle Duster. So, how did we get to see this? It's very complicated. My best guess is that because number 6 has overclock inside of him, that means that he has the vestige of Knuckle Duster inside of him, meaning that he is able to communicate with All For One. And we know for a fact that All For One, through some means, either through his own quirk, is able to sort of kind of peer inside of other people's minds through their quirk. We saw that via his own younger brother, when he was able to detect his younger brother, even though he was miles upon kilometers away, but was still able to sense his younger brother. And we could probably guess and speculate that the reasoning why that is the case is because he gave his younger brother a quirk, and it came from All For One. And you could say that because of that, All For One has a piece of himself inside of number 6, and because it's overclock, Knuckle Duster is also inside of him, so you can explain it like that. But it really doesn't matter. All we know is that Knuckle Duster, for the most part, just told All For One to shut up. And from there, pretty much what the next few parts of this chapter is just seeing Koichi and number 6 fighting, and how number 6 somehow gets the upper hand on Koichi and crushes him like a bug, which is very ironic because he's called the Crawler and people have equated him to being a cockroach. So the fact that we see that number 6 is able to accidentally have his arm cut off by Koichi, reattach it, and then just smash Koichi together and send him falling towards the ground. Yeah, it's very ironic that he was able to do that because he pretty much crushed him like he was a bug. And at this moment, you have Koichi falling to the ground, thinking that he took so much damage and that he wasn't able to concentrate in that moment. And we see that he's about to crash into the building, but then we just hear a voice calling out for Koichi, you got this, as we get to see Mew as well as the Narita gang all together cheering for Koichi. Wolverine and Cyclops are there, the couple are there as well. They're all cheering for Koichi, and in actuality, the cheering actually helped because he was able to mitigate the damage and fall by using his quirk and being motivated to do so. And as he's like looking at them, it's like, hey, why are you guys here? He notices that Oh no, we've moved the fight into a more residential area. Oh no, there are civilians here. So he begins to try and tell the civilians to like go away, get out of here. Unfortunately, we are in the world of My Hero Academia where the people have a tendency to just be bystanders, look at a villain attack, and just stand there without really a care for their own safety. So, you know, My Hero Academia civilians, and as Koichi is trying to warn them of the situation and that there's a monster on the loose, a piece of debris is about to hit them. But luckily enough, we have the individuals of the Hoppers Cafe coming into the rescue, and as well as the Narita gang trying to escort these people out of this dangerous situation, as you have the two Grasshopper brothers saying, by the way, Koichi, you're doing a good job, but make sure he doesn't destroy our business. Thanks! So, you know, just fun interactions between Koichi and the gang as they were able to give him some form of inspiration to allow him to, you know, survive that deadly fall. So yeah, that's pretty much where the title of this chapter comes from, but as we are moving past that moment, we get to see that we have the news announcer as she's telling everyone to run away, that the monster is doing a lot of destruction, and that they need to evacuate quickly. We see that number 6 attempts to attack this helicopter and actually sends the people in the helicopter falling, and Koichi tries to save the day, but he is just too slow. He cannot get up high enough to save them all. But all of a sudden, for some apparent reason, these people's clothing decide to stick to a local bridge, and we get a major reveal. Best Jeanist, Eraserhead, Ingenium, as well as Edgeshot are here to help save the day, as Jeanist was able to save the individuals, as he has a microphone and saying, in a crisis like this, you don't need to worry because there are still heroes in this town. End of chapter. So yeah, pretty much what this entire chapter was building up to is the reveal of the heroes still being alive. I mean, of course they would still be alive. We saw that they are still alive in the canon of the story, so obviously they would be able to survive this moment. But the issue would be whether or not they would actually be more involved in this fight, and that if this was going to be solely a fight between number 6 and Koichi, and apparently that is no longer going to be the case, or at the very least, he's going to have help from heroes such as Best Jeanist, Edgeshot, Ingenium, as well as Night Eye. And potentially that Night Eye is here, he could potentially end number 6 in an instant without Koichi having to, you know, go against his morals of attacking someone and saving the day. So overall, this was a okay chapter of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. We obviously had a lot of cool action moments. We also get to see cool interactions and fun interactions between the Narita gang and Koichi, and how they are able to do what they always do and try to help escort people out of the situation, as well as the reveal of the heroes being here and potentially playing a bigger role or impactful role in this part of the story, either fighting number 6 or making sure that the civilians are getting away safely. And we're most likely going to see interactions between Koichi and the heroes next chapter. So it was a really okay chapter. The only issue is probably that All For One is still here, All For One still being All For One, but we did have Knuckle Duster pretty much telling him to shut the heck up and that he would never understand, which I enjoyed the most about this chapter. So like I said, overall was an okay chapter of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you enjoyed it too, as well as enjoyed this video/review. And if you did, what did you think of this chapter? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And what do you think is going to be going on in the next chapter? Do you think that Koichi is going to finally defeat number 6, or do you think that he's going to have help from the heroes to defeat him? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more of My Hero Academia Vigilantes content before the story eventually comes to an end. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!